How do you feel about banned books?
I think that most literature should not be banned, mostly because if, sure, there's some things that people shouldn't learn about, but you don't have to read the book. That's mostly what I think about literature. If it's too mature or if it's too inappropriate, then just don't read it.
Why do you feel that way?
Why? Well, I think that people should have access to information, whether that be through books, videos, or just through talking. I think they should have access to it and not be blocked from them.
Okay. Have you ever read a banned book?
Yeah, To Kill a Mockingbird, just did an assignment on it.
How did you feel after you read it?
I think it has a lot of good things to say. It was about a lawsuit. It really taught me how it was to live back then.
How do you feel about banned books?
I don't think any books should be banned at all. If individuals are seeking to read whatever they want, whether it be true or not, I'm against censorship.
Why do you feel that way?
I just feel it should be the readers or the individual's choice. In the case of a young kid or a child or even a teen, I think that a parent or maybe even a school system may choose to not allow them in their school or home, but to have a book be illegal, at least in my opinion, seems silly.
Have you ever read a banned book?
I have read books on a banned list, but never
Actually read them?
Yes, I have read books that have been banned before, but not in my school or community or my state or my country.
Do you know the book Harry Potter?
I do know of it, yes.
It was banned, and do you think that book should be banned?
Well, I haven't read it, but I'll stick with my first answer. I don't believe that, nor any book should be banned. Now, if a parent wants to say, I don't want you to read this until such and such age, or a school says, hey, that's not something we want in our building and we're not going to purchase it, that's fine. But for it to be illegal or not allowed to be purchased or read, I disagree with that.
Have you ever thought a book should be banned?
I have not ever thought a book should be banned. However, I suppose I can be open-minded, but I highly doubt that I would ever read a book and think, hey, that should be banned. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean that somebody else won't.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us?
Nope, I think I'm good to go. Thank you, fellas.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about banned books?
I don't agree with book banning.
Why do you feel that way?
I think it's important for people to be able to express their thoughts and opinions. And I know that during the Holocaust, one of the ways they tried to control people was by burning books that didn't agree with, like Hitler. Hitler tried to burn a whole bunch of books that were contained ideas that were opposed to his own.
Have you ever thought about banning a book?
No.
Have you ever read a banned book?
I'm sure I have. I would have to look at the list. But I do have a story kind of about that. A long time ago when I taught language arts, we were, at the middle school, we had a few more teachers on staff, and so we only taught one grade level, so I got to teach an exploratory class, and one of the exploratory classes I taught was called Novels, and we read The Book Thief. And at the time, our curriculum director read it to see if he would approve me reading that with the class. And he wanted, there were a few curse words in it, and he wanted me to go through the books and take a black Sharpie marker and cross over all the words that might have been deemed inappropriate. And I said, if I have to do that, we're not reading the book. So the kids have all heard
Have
these
you
words.
heard of the book Harry Potter?
Yes.
Do you know why that book is banned?
Where is it banned? Because I know we have it here.
I don't know where it's banned, but I know it's banned because of, in the book, it has witchcraft and stuff along that line.
Okay.
So do you have any questions for us?
So have you been researching banned books?
Yes.
So you have an idea?
I researched a banned book called Mississippi Bridge,
Okay.
and it had racism in it. the Great Depression, and the N-word in it, and that's about all I remember.
Okay. So what is your thought about banned books?
I don't think they should be banned because things people need to learn are in banned books, like the Mississippi Bridge, because it taught us about how people were treated unfairly, like how when black people were getting on a bus and then more white people showed up, the black people had to give up their seats.
Right. So just trying to erase history sometimes by banning books that might have words or ideas that we don't agree with anymore, or that depict a time that makes us uncomfortable, kind of. Sounds like they wanted to ban that book because of that there were racist undertones, but that's how life was then, right? Awesome.
Right.
Anything else?
Nope. How do you feel about banned books?
Well, in general, I'm against banning books, but I do want to make sure that educational institutions especially have appropriate material for the appropriate grade level of all students.
Why do you feel that way?
Well, for one thing, I think writing and literature is an expression a lot of times of someone's opinion, and sometimes they're bringing to light social factors that we should be alerted to in our world. The issue that I have is that sometimes the opinions need to be at an appropriate age level of sharing so that there's not confusion by the reader.
Have you ever thought about banning a book? Or a book should be banned here at Hartford Middle School?
No, not banned by definition, but certainly our staff does a really good job of picking appropriate literature that is for the age level and reading level of our students.
Have you ever read a banned book?
Yes, I have. I remember in high school we read To Kill a Mockingbird as part of our literature project, and I loved that book. I very much enjoyed it, but I do remember our teacher talking about that at one time was a banned book in many communities, many libraries, and many schools.
One of our classmates did the research on that book.
Okay.
How did you feel after you read that book?
I felt like it was very enlightening. My teacher, who was one of my favorite teachers at the time, went through it, so it wasn't just reading to read a book for no reason, but it was reading to comprehend what the author was trying to explain within the book.
Okay.
And I very much enjoyed it.
Do you have any questions for us?
No, good luck on your project and on your interviews.
How do you feel about banned books?
Overall, I feel that books should not be banned. I think that people should have the opportunity to make that decision for themselves.
Have you ever thought about banning a book?
I have not thought about banning a book, no.
Has it ever came up to you by a student or parent?
I can't think of any examples where a student or a parent was upset that there was about any certain books available at the school, no.
Have you ever read a banned book?
Probably. I know that Harry Potter was banned, and I've read all of those. I know Shel Silverstein's poetry was banned, and I read that as a kid. And I'm sure there's more, but I don't.
After you read Harry Potter, how did you feel about the book?
I really enjoyed Harry Potter, the whole series when I was reading them, and I was probably in middle school when it came out, and it really got me into reading. So I really love Harry Potter.
Do you know why Harry Potter was banned?
I assume it was banned because of the witchcraft described in it. I think that people with certain religious beliefs felt that the magic in it was sacrilegious or kind of going against their religious beliefs.
Do you have any questions for us?
Have you read any banned books?
Yes. In Mr. Manning's class, we did a project, a paper basically on banned books, and I read the book Mississippi Bridge, and it was banned because of the N-word, racism, and the Great Depression. And I don't know if the Great Depression was about how black people had to get up their seats for the white people.
Okay.
And other students did To Kill a Mockingbird. That's all I remember.
Cool.
How do you feel about banned books?
I do not agree with banning books.
Why do you feel that way?
I think that book choices should be up to the reader and potentially the reader's parents.
Have you ever thought about banning a book?
No. I mean, I haven't personally thought of having one. I've thought about issues that come across when people talk about banning books, but I have never thought a book needed to be banned.
Has a parent or student talked to you about banning a book?
Yes.
At least how many?
Oh, I couldn't tell you a number. When I taught language arts for a while, and I had some times when parents did not like books that were in the library and their kids could choose them, and they would come in and kind of complain that there was a book there or whatnot.
Have you ever read a banned book?
Probably. Oh yeah, I have.
What book was it called?
I'm trying to think. To Kill a Mockingbird.
A lot of students in our class did that.
I'm not sure if I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. I'm not sure if that's one that's banned. I'm trying to think of the
Harry
other.
Potter.
I have only read the first Harry Potter.
After you read it, how do you feel about that book? Because
I don't think that it needed a ban. I don't think any books need to be banned, but I didn't see any sort of thing that I would be opposed to.
The reason why it was banned because of witchcraft,
Right.
And that's all I remember from it. But yeah, it shouldn't be banned from that.
Right.
Do you have any questions for us?
Let me think. I gotta have something for you. Have you read any of the books?
Yes, I read Mississippi Bridge.
Okay.
It had the Great Depression in it,
Mm-hmm.
racism, and the N-word in it, is all I remember. And
Did it make you feel like you wanted to be racist or use those words? Or
no.
did it kind of give you like, wow, I can't imagine.
It actually gave me a little history about segregation and the Great Depression, how like black people had to get up their seats for white people.
Right.
Because in the book, a white boy was talking about the book, but he had friends about black people and he didn't have a problem with him and all that.
Right. Good. Yeah.
How do you feel about banned books?
Depends which books you're talking about.
Like normal books in general, like Harry Potter, like normal books that are like good books for kids.
I think that kids should be able to check them out as long as they have a permission slip from the library, because Harry Potter, I've read that and there's nothing in my mind in there that would be cryptic or like not appropriate for kids, but that's me as a parent. Some parents might not want their kids to read that, so permission slips from the parents would be acceptable to check them out.
Have you ever thought about banning a book?
Have I?
Yes.
No, I don't have nothing to do with the library.
Have you ever had a parent or student talk to you about banned books, like getting rid of one you have or something like that?
No, I have not.
Have you ever read a banned book?
I'm not sure. Well, yeah, I've read the Harry Potter, so
How did you feel after you read that?
like I just read a book.
Because in it, we looked. Mr. Manning showed us like why it was banned, and it was banned because of witchcraft. Do you think it should have been banned because of that?
No, but it's an easy fix if a parent says it's okay. You could make a generic permission slip, and if the parents sign it, plus it teaches the kids responsibility to, hey, I got to take this home, have them sign it, check out a book.
Do you have any questions for us?
What other books are banned besides Harry Potter in our library?
Is
Is Harry Potter banned in our library?
None in our library, but
Okay.
it is banned.
Okay, in some libraries.
Yes, we really don't have any banned books, but I know that Mississippi Bridge is banned. To Kill a Mockingbird is banned. And Tango Makes 3 is one of them. What was it called?
That's all right.
Yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
the name of one of them. All right. How do you feel about banned books?
I don't think that books should be banned. I think that they should be available for all people to read.
Have you ever thought about banning a book?
No, because I believe that it's our right to read what we want, write what we want.
Has a student or parent talked to you about banning a book?
In the past, I have had parents talk to me about banning a book. They thought that it was not appropriate for their child to read. They didn't like profanity in it and the concept behind it, the whole theme.
Have you ever read a banned book?
Yes,
What was the name of it?
I've read several, but my favorite is Speak by Lori Halls Anderson.
Okay. Isn't Divergent banned?
It's a good question. I don't know if it is or not.
Well, after you read the book you've read is your favorite, how did you feel about it?
I liked it, and so I taught it in school, and I used to teach it to high schoolers. So I like the book. I think it's very relevant that we read banned books and that we read what other people think.
Do you know why that book was banned?
For language, for content.
Do you have any questions for us?
What have you learned about banned books through this project?
I learned that a lot of banned books can be banned about history is the main thing, and language, and some censored things that should be censored.
Okay. And what banned book have you read?
I read Mississippi Bridge. It had the Great Segregation, the Great Depression, and racism in it, and the N-word in it. And it should not be banned because that book teaches us a lot about history.
Nice. Well, good. Well, thanks for interviewing me.